good evening and welcome to Truth and Justice TV. My name is Dr. Jennifer Obaseki, and on Truth and Justice TV we like to spotlight issues within the community, provide legal knowledge and empowerment, but sometimes we also like to focus on individuals in our community who are making a difference. And this evening I have a very special guest. I've been honoured this evening by wonderful Miss Evidence Joel. Miss Evidence Joel is the mother of the late Richard Okorogheye, and this evening we're going to be discussing the circumstances that led to her son's sad passing, and also look at the efforts she's making within the community to spotlight the issue of sickle cell and what we can do to help the lives of those who have this illness and those who are caring for individuals who equally have this illness. So good evening and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us this evening on Truth and Justice TV.
Thank you.
So
Thank you very much.
First of all, very sorry to hear and have gone through that journey with you on the passing of your son. And maybe the viewers may need to know a little bit about him. So with regards to him, what was he doing and his age at the time of his passing?
Well, Richard was 19 years old and he was at university doing security, cyber security at University of Oxford Brook University. And he had also opened some clothing line as well. So he was doing so much. You know, he wanted to be a successful man, and I think he was heading to that lane.
Yeah. And sadly, he had the condition of sickle cell anemia, and that meant that during the pandemic he was shielding.
Absolutely, Richard was. He had to. Just to protect himself from having COVID. So he was advised that he stay at home. But he did go out once in a while to have his blood exchange. That was every month, 6 weeks or 4 weeks, depending on his hemoglobin level.
Okay.
So that was the only time he had to go. Otherwise, he was shielding all throughout the pandemic period.
And do you feel that people have a good understanding? Because some people say that a lot of the hospitals often don't have enough knowledge on the condition, or generally was your experience that you kept having to explain to professionals, or did he have a good set of caregivers around him within the hospital settings?
Yeah, he had. I mean, St. Mary Hospital was the best. I mean, from the beginning, they've been there for us, been there for Richard, make sure that he received the best care, especially when it comes to the hematology department. We have a specialist nurse there that took care of Richard. I mean, it was just a thorough care. So they had enough good knowledge in that area at St. Mary, but I'm not sure about other hospitals, I must say. Yeah.
Okay. And when it came down to the circumstances where he went missing, what made you realize something was terribly wrong?
Yeah, because to me, that's my son, and I knew it's out of character for Richard, because it's somebody that he would tell you, you know, as he did tell me, they was going to friends' house, and it's just unlike him to just go and not come back home. It just really unlike him. So I knew immediately there's something not right somewhere.
And it's out of character.
Out of character, definitely. So it's just unlike him.
Yeah. So when it comes down to also parents who are caring for children who have sickle cell, do you think there's enough information and support that's out there currently?
Not really, unless the parents strive to get more information. Otherwise, there's not much. I mean, I was training as a nurse, and no one taught us about sickle cell.
Wow.
We didn't know anything about sickle cell. Can you just imagine
that?
So for parents to, you know, to
get that
information, they need to, you know, read more, do their own research, because most hospitals don't know what it is actually, so they can't really be of help.
Well, that's quite concerning.
Yeah, it is.
What we're going to do is we're going to take a very short break, and after the break, when we come back, we're going to discuss what happened to you having to actually make a complaint about the response you had from the police, which recently we've had some of the responses from them as to what should happen to the officers and marks on their records. So after the break, we'll be talking about the police complaint. So see you after a short moment. Thank you for staying with us. Welcome back to Truth and Justice TV. And today we have Miss Evidence Joel joining us to discuss issues around the passing of her son, Richard Okorogheye. Now, it was much featured in the news and media about the police response. But if you tell us what led or what happened after you went to the police to explain, look, my son's missing and it's totally out of character, I need help. What was the response?
The response was absolutely negative. I was dismissed.
Wow.
Another black woman calling and being frantic.
They considered you frantic?
The response, the whole, when I passed on that phone call, and when I was told, as an adult, he'll come home when he's ready.
Wow.
Even when I actually explained to
his
them
condition,
that,
etc.
Richard has sickle cell.
The fact that he was vulnerable.
Exactly, and could be dehydrated, he could be in pain, we don't know. He's out of character. And that was not considered as anything, really.
But most recently we've had seen response from the Metropolitan Police that 2 officers had been sort of sanctioned, but it didn't say punished. It kind of just said that they've been reprimanded, etc. How do you feel about that?
I feel good, actually. I feel vindicated.
Vindicated, yeah.
Just at first I felt that I was exaggerating. It was too much, it was. But I was just telling my stories of what I was going through.
I think people could see and feel that you were being treated unfairly, and even in a manner that was not really respectful given the circumstances. You're a mum, a child that is vulnerable, you're reporting, you're being dismissed or sort of shooed away. And so that's not really right. Do you think other parents may have experienced the same thing?
I'm sure. We had the program recently, and the level of concern when it comes to police dismissing parents that have lost their children is overwhelming.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed, actually. Really.
And one thing that your case, and I would say we're thankful for Richard's case, is the response from the community when they could see you and your pains on the broadcast and the fact that you were being dismissed. There was a quick response from the Afro Caribbean community, and one of the things, I was even sharing the picture, and I must say the response to the community was, I would say, very, very supportive.
Yes.
Very, very supportive, and I'd like to thank the community actually for your responses to this crisis, and this emergency situation that we had, given the fact that the police did not take up the role that they should have done. The community ended up stepping in and passing the pictures and passing messages and trying to rally round.
Yes.
So I'd like to give a vote of thanks. Is there anything you would like to say to the community as well?
Yes, I just add to that, so much appreciation, overwhelming. So touched, the whole family are so touched with the overwhelming support and care and donations, and the flowers, and everything Thank you, really. Yeah.
I'm sure that those people who are out there just, one, happy that the police actually ended up doing what they were supposed to do in the first place, and two, I think they feel probably good that you feel vindicated, because that's no way that anybody should have been treated.
Absolutely.
The other thing is Richard's case helped to highlight the missing black children that we're seeing within our community.
Yes.
And I'm not sure whether it's because now social media enables us pass those pictures around quickly and galvanizes people at a quicker pace. But it's quite shocking, the number of black children. You don't automatically see them on the news. So that's another thing, pushing to get them seen on the news, pushing to get the police to respond.
Yes.
These things seem to be a challenge. Have you, when you were doing your program and sort of having other responses from parents, was that also another issue?
It was, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Getting the necessary attention to the child and the fact that you're looking for them. Is there any reason, do you think, that is behind that sort of delay or lack of willingness to push forward the plight of missing black children?
I think as long as we're black, there's a lot of discrimination going around it. Strongly, I feel, well, the police are thinking, well, it's a black boy or it's a black person and they're into drug.
They just automatically assume the worst.
Because in Richard's case, I was told that Richard is not known to them, to the police.
So he must be known to them before they pay attention.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they said, actually, Richard is not known to the police, so he will go and come back home.
That's totally disappointing.
It is.
Absolutely.
Well, that statement was awful. Yeah.
Most people even at that stage may not want to complain because they're so much in need of the police's help.
Yes.
So they may feel reluctant to say, look, what you're doing to me is not right. You actually should be helping me.
Absolutely.
Do you have any advice for anybody who's out there that are looking for the police to assist them, whether in the plight of a missing person or in any situation? Should they relent if they feel that how they're being treated is not right?
No, they shouldn't. They should go forward. They should keep pushing until they get the outcome, the result of it. You need to keep pushing, because if you relent, they're not going to help you out. They also relent.
The police
they
will
need to keep
relent.
pushing.
Yeah.
Okay. Too.
All right, so we're going to take another very short break, and after the break we're going to be looking into some of your efforts and work within the community. So we'll see you after these few moments. Thank you for staying with us, and today my special guest is Evidence Joel, who's here to talk about her son Richard Okorogheye and some of the circumstances that led to him passing. Now, one of the things that we have been discussing when it comes down to sickle cell and people shielding during this time, a lot of people may be feeling isolated.
Yes.
And isolation is another cause for stress and depression.
Yeah.
So any words out there for anybody who is affected by that particular mental illness, stress, depression, any words of advice for them?
Please get help.
Yeah, reach out.
Yeah, reach out and get help. There are people there. There's Sickle Society is out there, your GP, doctors. Please, don't be scared, don't be worried. Reach out and get help. Right.
You staying silent means the problem is enclosed just with you and nobody knows that you need assistance. So the assistance is out there. There are community nurses, there's your NHS, GP, there are other therapeutic services. Some of them are being delivered online, and I know that you might feel knocked back initially when you reach out for help because of the waiting lists. During this pandemic, there's been a high demand on mental health support services, but there is help out there. whether it means that you get a phone call, Zoom, within the community, going into your church, finding if there are mentors who you can actually speak to. And then there are the Samaritans. That phone line is there and it's free. You can get on there and talk to somebody, and they are able to make referrals. Absolutely. So do not suffer in silence. Reach out. There's help in the community. Please. And then equally, if you are affected, you need support, maybe your crisis has come along, there's no one to help you, within the Sickle Cell Society and your local NHS trust, there's help that you can get. I get surprised a lot as a lawyer. People come to me, maybe they have their crisis and they don't realize there's even extra benefits that they can help, that can help them. And I think, why don't you want to claim? And some say it's too much trouble, some get, say it's a bit too complicated, and the amount of help that people are not tapping into often surprises me.
It was actually surprising you said that, because when Richard we're trying to get help for Richard in terms of student finance, and we were told that sickle cell is not a disability, so they are not entitled to any benefit.
Despite the fact that he was having his transfusions every month, and he was having his crisis, it wasn't seen as a disability.
No, sickle cell is not seen as a disability. Maybe now, but then, that was a year ago, it wasn't seen as a disability.
Often, when it comes down to discussions around diversity and inclusion, unless these things are raised, I'm sure people within the community may not even realise that is a massive omission, because that means a lot of students who are sufferers of sickle cell, who carry that trait and have issues around that, may not be able to access the level of support they need if they go to university.
Yes,
that's shocking.
It is.
So one of the things that people out there could do is write to their MPs and say, look, this should be an issue. Why is it that people who have sickle cell are now not seen as having the necessary requirements to meet the definition of disability? Is it because they don't have a constant issue? Well, actually, the blood they carry is constantly within them. So they're surprising that such a thing is omitted. But that's important to highlight. So how do people actually go about helping and supporting you, and what work are you trying to do at the moment?
Well, we've got a few work going on at the moment. We're working with the NHS for, it's called Richard Blood Drive.
Richard's Blood Drive.
Yeah, it's going to be out in September. So we're going to get donor coming in. Every borough will have their own blood drive that day.
And that is to get more blood donors from the Afro Caribbean communities.
Exactly. Yes, precisely. Brilliant. Yeah. So because we've got only 1.5% of blood donor from Africans and Caribbean
community. So out of all of the donors in the UK, the percentage of those who are from the Afro Caribbean community is 1.5%.
5%. It's very, very. We need more than that.
We need more. Yeah. And as you know, for certain conditions, recipients of the donated blood are likely to respond better if it's donations from their own community.
Absolutely.
So it's very important that towards September, the different regions, the different NHS trusts, people can just sign up.
Yes, please.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if you're keen to know more, please do email in. Your email's on the screen so people will be able to see that.
Yes.
Or contact your local NHS trust for the Richard's Blood Drive. Yes?
Yeah.
Anything else that you're going to be involved in?
And then we're going to we did sickle cell awareness already. That was on 18th of June, although it was sickle cell month.
Yes.
So we had one in Kensington and Chelsea to raise awareness about sickle cell and how it can affect us as an individuals, including traces as well, because funny enough, we just found out that trace can actually affect you as well. As a trace, as a carrier, as you get older, you tend to have pains on your joints. So for those people out there, and if you're not aware, the sickle cell trait that comes from where your cells, they should be circular, but for sicklers, it's in a sickle form, as you know. So as the cells pass each other, they get caught. Yes. So as they get caught, it can cause inflammation, pain throughout different parts of the body. And so even if you are a carrier, so that means you carry a genetic code, not necessarily the full sickle cell, you can still later in life
have pronounced health problems.
Yes.
And people are not fully aware of this. So here in the UK, they tend to do blood screening, but not always when with pregnant mums. And people who are courting, I say courting, you people that have internet dating and quick jump into relationships, not everybody says, what blood type are you?
Exactly. Exactly.
People don't say that. Love is love anyway. So at the end of the day, if you're not aware of these things, it's important that you do have a blood test to be aware of these things. So when it comes down to that level of awareness, when you were doing the awareness campaign in Kensington, were you able to sort of explain to people the importance?
Yes, of course, because we had to tell them, go and get tested. Yes, you're in love, but don't be ignorant. Go and have it tested. Check yourself. And then go and fall in love.
Check yourself, then fall in love. I like that.
So you can bring a healthy children.
And
and also it's
and be aware of know how to treat yourself as well.
Most definite. And if you do have it, just keep hydrating yourself. Drink more. See the doctor. Eat healthy. Less stress. And keep the mind healthy. Absolutely. Don't be isolated. Please. All of these things are so important. Now, for us, when we're dealing with issues like complaints against the police, most of the time it's due to excessive force or due to abuse of power, abuse of process. So in your case, it seemed so strange that the police were just simply using their power to ignore you. So that must have been a very hard thing to deal with. It is, because it's like a rock that you cannot penetrate. I tried to penetrate. No. Bounce back. You can keep bouncing back. There was no information. I was constantly dismissed. Constantly being told, you've been on the phone for the last 10 minutes. There's no update evidence. And as a parent, that you just...
And you're worried as well at the same time.
I think in fact, most of my hair is gone due to stress.
Well, I must say that the one thing that you've done is you've made sure that the plight of black children who go missing is no longer fully ignored. You've shown that the community can quickly rally round and speak out when one person is being treated unfairly.
Absolutely,
You've started to make sure that there's a lot more pronounced awareness around sickle cell, and I know that you're working with the Sickle Cell Trust, because our offices in Hackney, round the corner from their offices, they also need your support and donations. Now that there's been COVID, there's been a cut in the level of outreach that they can do. So please, you can reach out to the Sickle Cell Trust with your donations in cash or in kind, because they're a well-meaning, long-standing, excellent charity that works within the Afro Caribbean community, and we need them.
Yes, please.
Yes, please, we do. So please do contact them. And you've also made sure that your son's legacy stays well and truly pronounced. As you said, he was an entrepreneurial little man. He was also studying, so intelligent, entrepreneurial, and he was extremely handsome, I must say. So his legacy will stay strong. And I must thank you for spending time with us today.
Thank you.
And is there anything else you want to say out there to those in the community before you go?
I just want to say thank you. And also, as a sickle cell patient, please achieve your dream.
Don't let it limit you.
Don't, achieve. Continue. Okay?
Oh, well, thank you, Evidence. I'm so honoured that you came today.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And we'll continue to try and support you. Anytime you're doing anything new, feel free to come back and let us know.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you very much for watching. Remember, it's important that you do support the Sickle Cell Trust. It's important that you do keep an eye on Evidence and the Richard Blood Drive. In September, we want you to please go to the different NHS trusts around where you are. Do donate. If you're not sure whether you can donate, ask. Don't automatically dismiss it. We need your blood, okay? Within our community, we have pronounced and increased levels with regards to certain diseases, and whenever we're looking for donors, because our register is so small, we have only a few people to go to. But the more of you that sign up in September during the Richard Blood Drive, the more options you'll be able to give people who will need you, sick children, sick adults who will need to have your donated blood. So thank you for joining us again.
Thank you.
Good night from Truth and Justice TV, and remember, if you can't be good, be careful.